What's up, everyone? Are you a data science student or professional who struggles to meet deadlines, just endlessly searching the
dark depths of Stack Overflow
to find the answers to your problems? Or maybe you're just a data science newbie who's overwhelmed by the vast amounts of information and tools out there. Well, fear no more. Python libraries to the rescue. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jacob and I study data science at Duquesne University. Over the past few years, I've competed in multiple hackathons, I have a data analytics internship, and I've just really grown to love the field of data science. Now, over the years, I've experimented with tons of Python libraries, but I think 5 in particular have helped me a lot, both in my educational projects and also in my professional portfolio. So in an effort to provide some value to you, today I'm going to count down my top 5 Python libraries that have helped me, both in my educational journey, but also in my professional journey. So the first library I want to talk about today is BeautifulSoup. So as data scientists, we obviously need access to data. But the problem is, in the real world, it's not always delivered to us in a clean CSV format like it is sometimes in the classroom. Instead, we have to go out and hunt for this data and actually try to collect it ourselves. And this is where BeautifulSoup comes in handy. I like to think that BeautifulSoup lets us take back our power because we're strong, independent data scientists. We don't need no CSV files. Plus, using BeautifulSoup is really simple. Pretty much all you have to do is paste a URL from the web page you want to scrape, load up a BeautifulSoup parser object, and then just scrapes and stores the data for you. Now you can define some custom things like exception handling, but overall it's actually really simple to use and a great introduction to web scraping. Especially nowadays, because data collection is at a premium, web scraping is a really useful skill to have in the workplace. I found that my employer personally has asked me to do some web scraping projects for them. So just learning the fundamentals of web scraping and using a simple beginner-friendly library like BeautifulSoup is a great way to start and develop your skills. Now the second Python library I want to talk about today is Plotly. So you know Matplotlib, like the famous Python visualization library? Yeah, if we're being honest here, it kind of sucks. If Matplotlib is like your middle school gym teacher who was always sweaty and yelling at you, then Plotly is like Kim Kardashian. That's the comparison I like to make. Plotly lets you do all the normal things that a visualization library would let you do, like make scatter plots, line graphs, and bar charts, but it also has a bunch of additional features, and that's what actually makes it special. For example, Plotly has an interactive HTML element where you can actually use your cursor to scroll across it and see like actual data from the graph. Plus it has animation. This is one of my favorite parts, is you can actually see trends over time by pressing a play button and see like color differences that will signify changes in like population density, for example. Also, one of the most important features of Plotly is its built-in geographical functions, which allow you to visualize maps, whether that be of the entire Earth or maybe even just specific states in the United States. You can use these geographical features to actually make geographical visualizations. Simply put, Plotly is just a complete step above any other visualization library like Matplotlib or Seaborn, and it's a must-have in your toolkit if you really want to make beautiful visualizations in Python. So if you haven't used it yet, now would be the perfect time to get some hands-on experience using Plotly. Now the third library I'm going to talk about today is a famous one, and it's Scikit-Learn. Now Scikit-Learn is a certified data science banger, and if you haven't heard about it yet, well, it's about time. Scikit-Learn is a very large library, but it basically has everything you need for machine learning algorithms. It has like the classic algorithms like regression, decision trees, classification, and clustering. But on top of that, it also has things that you can actually use to prepare the data for machine learning, pre-processing steps, train test splits, and also things like scaling so you can scale your features if you need to. I like to think of Scikit-Learn as like the one-stop shop for machine learning. Like it has everything you'd ever need to do. If you go to like the online documentation, it's like pages and pages long. Like you can get actually lost in it. And I think that's just a testament to how vast and useful a library like Scikit-Learn is. Also, from personal experience, it's great for impressing your non-data science friends. Because it's so easy to build like a complex machine learning algorithm, it makes you seem way smarter than you are. So if you want to brag to your friends that you're like a machine learning guru, definitely use Scikit-Learn because it makes it so easy. I want to take a minute to pause and say that if you've gotten any value from this video so far, please consider giving the video a like. I'm a new creator, so it would help me out a lot and I would really appreciate it. But moving on to my number 4 Python library, which is Keras. Keras, I think I'm pronouncing that right. Anyways, Keras is like Scikit-Learn's older brother. Once you're done with the more simple algorithms like regression, you move on to Keras, which is a framework for implementing deep learning architectures like neural nets. Just like Scikit-Learn, Keras makes building a super complex neural network architecture like super easy. Like you can just define the number of layers you have, the activation functions, the cost functions, and it will automatically build and compile it for you. There's also like a ton of different architectures supported within Keras. You can make a simple feed-forward network, but you can also make like an LSTM or a convolutional neural network. Like it's actually very functional and there's a lot of capabilities within the Keras framework. Keras also has like industrial uses too, because you can actually like accelerate GPU training and make it optimized for your hardware. So if you have a really time-intensive or compute-intensive training job, you can actually make that shorter and utilize your computer's resources to make that algorithm more efficient. So if you graduate from Scikit-Learn and want to do something a little more complex, Keras is definitely your go-to option. Now the fifth and final library I want to talk about today is Scipy. So I know personally I kind of forget a lot of times that statistics is like a fundamental part of data science. Like I'll just be doing my analyses and then remember, oh yeah, I should probably say whether this is significant or not, or maybe include some statistical tests to actually prove my analysis. And I think a large reason why I do this is because it's hard to do proper statistical testing in code. Like it can be easy to write it out, but I just forget to do these statistical tests when I'm coding because that's just not my mindset. And that's where Scipy comes in and kind of saves the day. So Scipy actually has a lot of functionality, like it can also support image processing, but specifically the scipy.stats segment is what I find super useful. That's a segment that contains tests for hypothesis testing, sampling, and other statistical measures. So if you're anything like me and you just forget to do some statistical tests while you're trying to prove something, definitely check out scipy.stats because it's absolutely saved my life in implementing easy statistical tests within my code. And because I use it for almost everything now, it's earned its place as my #1 favorite Python library. Super easy to use, super useful, and if you haven't learned about scipy.stats yet, I highly recommend you go and check out the documentation. I'll include links to the documentation for all the libraries below, so maybe if you came across a library that you haven't heard of yet and want to check it out, you can just go down there and click the link. So in conclusion, data scientists, we come for the money and stay for the community. No. I'm just kidding, we're all here for the money. No, but all jokes aside, one of my favorite parts about being a data scientist is using Python. Because Python is such a large community and they're constantly coming up with new tools and technologies, it's always exciting and it's always fun to actually learn about what the Python community is doing. Like, if I'm being real here, I cannot stand C++ or Java. I had to take an algorithms course in C++ and it absolutely melted my mind. Like, I don't care that it's harder to learn. I will never say that those languages are better than Python. And probably I think most people would agree that the best part of Python is the functionality of the libraries. So if you came across a library today that maybe you haven't heard of yet, I highly recommend you to check it out because using these libraries has absolutely leveled up my data science game and has given me so many useful tools to 1, build cool projects, 2, get good grades, and 3, also impress my employer at my internship. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you got some value from this video and maybe you learned about a library that you haven't used yet. Like I said previously, I highly recommend you check any of them out. If you like this video, I recommend that you check out some of my other videos involving data science and the college lifestyle. I talk about this kind of stuff a lot, so if you're interested in that sort of stuff, I highly recommend you check it out. But otherwise, I'll see you around.